gets interesting by the day.
Yes.
So, what we're going to do this evening is we're going to be including you in our discussions. And so, we're going to be taking a story, something that we feel is very topical and would like to
Yes.
hear your opinions about. And then we'll open up the phone lines and get to hear your take on it. So today we're your guests, and I do hope that we have a very robust conversation this evening because I think our dear country is in very dear need of conversations like this where we're able to get down to the bare bones, talk about the issues and not the mundane emotions behind some kind of arguments that you hear online. So, where are we going first
Jackie,
this
we say
evening?
there have been a potpourri of activities in the polity. The policies have been a little bit on the downside because after the primaries, before now, it was the time for the primary election for all political parties to bring out their flag bearers, standard bearers for the governorship, presidential, national assembly. That's the Senate, the House of Reps, and the House of Assembly election, the candidates. And of course, the primary took place. Thereafter the primaries, things have been a bit silent, but within the parties, politics have been going on because some people somehow were shortchanged. Those who emerged as candidate flag bearers of the parties, both the ruling APC, ADC, NDC, Labour Party, name it. There have been one crisis or the other because some, when INEC opened, in fact, some it came as rumors that their names were uh,
Omitted. Or,
replaced with others,
uh huh.
that they will not be allowed to fill in the INEC forms when the INEC portal will be open. And of course, when INEC portal was accessible to political parties, we heard how some people were sidelined or they were replaced. For example, in the ruling APC, former two-term governor of Benue State and former Senator Gilbert Suswam, his name was replaced with another person, allegedly to appease the Secretary to the Federal Government, talking about Senator George Akume.
Mm.
There hasn't been any rosy relationship between him and
So strong.
Governor Alia, talking about the Secretary to the Federal Government, Senator George Akume. The relationship has not been good. So,
Between him and
yes,
the present governor.
and the present governor, Governor
Okay.
Alia.
Mm.
So, and of course, Governor Suswam ported from the PDP to the APC. I remember I kept following him in the media when he said the PDP was on the this
ICPC.
ICP unit in the hospital. What's the name of that place?
ICU.
Intensive care unit.
The ICU.
ICU.
Right.
Yes. So, not sooner than he could not wait any longer, of course, and the PDP crisis continued to get intracted. So he moved to the APC. He secured a ticket for the Senate, but when the INEC portal was open for political parties to fill in candidates, his name was dropped. In Kaduna here, for example, in the PDP, Zango Katab Jaba Federal Constituency, the person that picked the ticket, he picked the ticket with 7,000 and something votes.
Mm.
The person that followed him, a far distant second, was 180 something vote, I think. 120 something vote, I think, yes. Then the person that followed him was 80 something vote, something like that. But
So it was an overwhelming win.
yes, but later on, we had the address a press conference in Zango, alleging that there was being subterranean plan to drop the person that won the election, talking about Dr. Gideon Job, and replace him with another person. Later on, when INEC portal was open, then we saw that the person that came a distant third, Honorable Rijo Shakari, who left the APC and moved to the PDP, I think either 3 weeks to the election, to the primaries. So he got it. So it has been bandied around. You know, he's close to power and all that. Probably the Wike camp and all that. You know,
So
and
what we're seeing now in Nigeria is
yes,
that Wike, who is allegedly
yes,
still in the PDP,
yes,
even though he's working assiduously for the APC,
yes, he's an underhand
is
for the APC,
still having much power
allegedly.
and allegedly and a
Yes.
say over who gets what in the
Of
PDP.
course, it is the leadership under his control, talking about the Samuel Anyao and Abdurrahman. Abdurrahman as the chairman and Samuel Anyao as the national secretary. It is all leadership that INEC recognize. Nevertheless, notwithstanding that, the Supreme Court in the last judgment stated that the suspension of Samuel Anyao, you know, was valid.
Mm.
And of course, if he was suspended, and then after the suspension, that he now went and declared the other chairman, Damagun, suspended, and he took over as acting secretary, and later on, from there, he was caretaker secretary. From there, he was elected. So how could that have stand? But we are still waiting to see this the case under Senator Kabiru Turaki SAN, who is the acting national chairman, you know, for the other side.
Mm.
They still have another case in court. How it will pan out, would it work within this time? By I think by August, something like that, the INEC portal to be open for the governorship candidate to assess and fill in the forms, and of course presidential. So whether what they are pursuing in the Supreme Court or in the courts, whether it could still favor them before that time. I remember different interviews where Nyesom Wike has always, you know, say it authoritatively. He said, just wait, whoever that is doubting the leadership under his control, that they are not valid, they should wait and see when INEC open the portal. They will see who will be accessible to the portal. And true, that's what happened. Now, within the ruling APC, in Ondo, you have crisis. In Kaduna here, the former member, talking about Honorable Samaila Suleiman, former chairman Kaduna North Local Government and former two-time member House of Reps, who was replaced by Honorable Bello Erofai, currently the member representing Kaduna North Kaduna North Federal Constituency. Yes, Honorable Sama Suleiman picked the ticket, but I read in Daily Trust that he was replaced with one Kaka. But though I spoke with the State Publicity Secretary of the APC, talking about Honorable Azari, he was supposed to be here, but at the nick of time, he had to travel to Abuja for an assignment. Hopefully next week he should be here to clarify. He said that Samaila Suleiman has not been replaced, but I say it would be good to hear it from the horse's mouth, since he's a spokesman of the party. So the issue of replacement and all that, within the NDC, I had this person, the chairman of the party in Kaduna State, talking about evangelist Mordecai S. Ibrahim. He said he was the standard bearer of the party for the governorship. But I've been following things in the media, both the social media and the traditional media. I've been watched on one TV program where Senator Danjumala, who lost the primary in the APC, that he has picked the ticket for the governorship for the NDC in Kaduna State. So, meaning that we have Senator Oba Sani for the APC. We have Honorable Isa Ashuru for the ADC. You have Honorable Shehu ABG for the PDP. You have Senator Danjuma La for the NDC for the governorship in 2027. One striking thing is there, is telling all of them, they are former members of the National Assembly, either House of Reps or Senate. So they have legislative experience. They have been in the legislative arm of government, and now Senator Obasanjo is already on seat under the executive. So the others, they want to join him in the executive. So this is why that's going on. And within the polity again.
No, let's stay with this. This matter of primaries have been held, and in any sane democracy, by now or even long before now, the flag bearers of each position that for each party would be well known by now. But right across board, not just even in the APC, the ruling party, but like you have been able to quickly take us through, we see changes that are not the people's will taking place. So the question now is whether we're talking about the APC, the PDP, the NDC, or the ADC.
Right.
Are Nigerians looking at a future where they matter, where the citizens of this great country matter? Because I don't know about you, but for me, it just looks as if the people don't matter, not even the people of your party. If we have someone who over or about 7,000 people came out to vote for,
Yes.
and you remove that person to put someone who came a distant third, I mean, it's a different thing if the gap between the votes, not that it should matter, but if the gap between the votes was a very slim one, you could, make some excuse or something. But for someone who got 7,000 votes to be replaced with someone who was a distant, not second, but a distant third, it's, I don't know what impression it is giving the people.
Yes, Jackie, let's look at it this way. Day for yesterday, the party, the PDP in Kaduna State, there was the address, or there was a protest, something like that, at the party's headquarters at NDA Junction, where the zonal chairman for Zone 3, talking about Honorable Yusuf Akuso, late Honorable Gideon Jog, who was said to have won the primary election with 7,000 votes plus, to a protest, and of course they said they will protest it. Let's see how it will go. Now, you said, do the people count? This issue could be seen in different dimensions. The first dimension is that some said, okay, I even had a statement from INEC. INEC said, no, it will not allow it, that those who emerge candidates at the primary election that they monitor, they will not allow them to be replaced by people, by different people. However, the argument is that a party affair is an internal, or election is an internal affair of the party. So, and the party is the one that sent to INEC, not somebody is standing under his name. No, you are contesting under a party. Now, election took place, and after the election, there were protests. If you follow the politics, you see that there were serious protests by different members of the party who contested. Either it was consensus, and some felt it was an organized consensus. There wasn't any agreement reached between the parties or the aspirants, but somebody name came emerged as the winner under consensus. And now the direct primary that took place, you saw the counting, this modern arithmetic where they jump from 2, 5, 10, 20, 1,000 and all that. That kind of counting. At the end, petitions were wrote, or were written by those who thought they were allegedly sidelined. Now, it is normal. And after going through the petitions, the party officials, they, in their own view, those who could have emerged as winners even before INEC at the primary, probably at the end, after a review, just like football, somebody could have scored. Remember, you watched Argentina versus Egypt. Many people celebrated that second goal and all that. Later on, after the video assistant referee, almost something about 2 minutes after or thereabout,
Was cancelled.
it was cancelled.
Let's not even go there.
So it's the same thing too. The committee, the reconciliation committee and all that, they serve more like the VAR, video assistant referee, within the primary. So after a review of the primaries, so probably those who were announced as winners at the end, it happened that they were not the one that won the election. So these names were replaced as the authentic winners and sent to INEC. So, and of course, according to the party argument, it is an internal affair. But again, even within the Constitution and Electoral Act, within a party affair, if somebody's right is infringed, if part of the party constitution is infringed, of course, the person can challenge it and go to court and all that. So we're waiting to see until INEC release the list of those who were sent by the party. That's when we'll know exactly whether these who were allegedly said to be replaced, whether they were indeed replaced or they are still the winners. For the case of Samuel Suleiman, for example, I was told by the public secretary that he has not been replaced. So, and Honorable Gideon Jog, is it true that he was replaced with Honorable Rijo Shekari? Let's wait and see until INEC bring out the list,
comprehensive
list.
So, but do we have any idea about? Some weeks ago, we had the Honorable Kafra Kaino, who was here and talked about some irregularities during the primaries.
Yes.
Do we have any updates?
That's a good reminder, of course, taking us back to our discussion some times ago. Yes, Kafra was a Deputy Director General for the former Speaker of the State House of Assembly, who contested for the that's Yusuf Zelani, who contested with Senator Sheikh Husani for the APC in Kaduna North Senatorial District. Of course, it was pushing and shoving by the Yusuf Zelani camp that they will not allow it, they will not agree. At the end, I saw unwritten in the newspaper that Yusuf Zelani said, well, he has put it behind him, and that he won't, just because of Sheikh Husani said he will not work for the party. So he's going to work for the party, work for Tinubu, and work for Obasani. So maybe next time you will get Kafra, you ask him, him as the Director General, what is his own position now?
Okay.
And that's why sometimes they said, when you see politicians, when they fight, be careful, because at the end, they'll leave you at the short side of the stick. They will go and reconcile themselves, and they will leave you there. And in fact, you could be part of the sacrificial lamb. They said, that person, I don't want to see near you again. And that will be the condition for the reconciliation. So sometimes when you are standing for them, just be strategic, be careful, be tactical. Yeah.
So in all of this, this is a question I've been asking for over 5 years now, really, I think even longer, that when you look at the antics during politics, does it inspire confidence in you that whatever is going on, whether the debates or do I use the word fights in parentheses, the fights between politicians during and the build up to elections, is it about the people or about they themselves? Well, the question I do not think we have an answer to, because it does not inspire confidence in a citizen when you allow yourself to even think for a moment that all of these things might not even be for your sake. But quickly, let us talk about our former governor in the person of Malam Nasser Ahmed El Rufai. We know that the situation has become so dire that his wives, even one of the wives that hitherto we hadn't seen.
Yeah.
It's not many people who know her.
Actually, I didn't know he had a wife that she's a lawyer.
Right.
Yes.
So it's not everyone who knew.
And very articulate.
She's been very quiet.
Yes.
She was quiet throughout his tenure. Hardly even was in Kaduna, the best I know. But here she is. She and her co-wives have been forced to go out into public to talk about the safety and health of their husband. Your thoughts on what's going on right now?
Yes, I first watched her on. It was a press conference that took place. I think it was in Abuja. So after the press conference, where she showed concern, the way that the rule of law is being circumvented or is not being obeyed to the latter in the case of Erufai. And she said Erufai didn't deserve the treatment being meted on him now. Now I watch her on Arise prime time that same day first yes, at 8 p.m. And that's why I said she's very articulate and all that. However, that issue of Erufai, it has a twist. Now the issue has been that some have been showing concern about his health condition, but I watched his son, Honorable Bally Erufai, said Erufai is in good condition. And now, after the case that was had that day for yesterday, I saw pictures on the social media of Nasir Ahmed Erufai and the ADC gubernatorial candidate talking about Right Honorable Isa Ashiru. He posted that he just finished a meeting with Nasir Ahmed Erufai. And after that, then I write in the media too that his health, his medical advisor, what did you call the name? He was detained by the security. That Nasir Ahmed Erufai was given more like a excuse for on health grounds to, for him to check him, something like that. I don't have the exact full detail, but unknowing to them that it was he used it for political reason, and he went and held a meeting with Honorable Isa Ashiru, as it was posted.
All right, let me pause you there. We need to go on a commercial break. When we get back, we'll continue from there. You're listening to Spot On, and we're looking at the state of the polity this evening. We'll soon open up the phone lines to hear your thoughts, but let's be done with the headlines that we thought topical to this discussion. Stay with us. This is Invicta 98.9. We'll be right back.
sabuwar rana ta bayyana ga uniform an shirya mana kuma ga mu akan hanyar zuwa Milo a cikin kofi mai dumi ga inganci an yi shi da malta Milo an yi shi da madara Milo an sa mishi koko Milo yanda dai ya kamata Milo mama ta ce in shanye Milo
ga kwallon duniya na FIFA 2026 ya gabato. Ka duba duk gasa 104 a Star Times tun farkon kwallo har karshe.
Kuma a wannan kawo ba kallo kawai bane, ka kalla ka ci.
Kai subscribing ko ka sai Star Time decoder ka samu daman cin naira miliyan 10 da kuɗin lodi daga naira 4,000. Ku yi caji ta Star Times app ko ku ziyarci ofis ɗinmu ko dillalanmu a kasa baki ɗaya. Star Times.
Ya ku masu ciniki, albishirinku gasar Magi Chicken Flavor ya sake dawowa.
A sayi Magi Chicken mai dunkule biyu kwaya 50 a samu garabasar guda 10 a kyauta.
Tabbas haka ne, idan kuma guda 10 aka saya, to za a samu garabasar guda 4 a kyauta.
Wato ƙarin ɗanɗano mai armashi, ƙarin nishaɗi, tare da more kuɗinka yadda ya kamata.
A hanzarta maza a je shago mafi kusa domin sayan paketin kunshin gasar Magi Chicken Flavor kafin ya kare. Gasar na nan har sai kayan sun kare. Da ni da Magi, haɗuwa mai armashi.
John Vance 3-in-1 chocolate. Enjoy instant goodness.
Invicta 98.9 FM.
All right, welcome back from that commercial timeout. And yes, we're talking about the state of the polity. And before we went on that break, we were talking with Ango on the news, the press statement, the press
yes,
interview
actually I
with the
was
wives
talking about
of Malam Nasser.
The ICPC, arrested and detained a Rufai physician, for false or for allegedly misusing the time approved for him for medical visit, for using it for political visitation and meeting. Like I said, Honorable Issa Ashiru posted on social media that he had just finished a meeting with Nasir Ahmed Rufai. Meanwhile, the time that was given was supposed to be for medical consultation with his physician. So they now felt that this physician was more like a connive with Nasir Ahmed Rufai to give false requests for medical visitation. Instead, it was used for a different thing. So these are the issues that are on ground. Meanwhile,
but the irony is not lost on me either, that these were two people who were on opposite sides for over 8 years, during which time the former governor ruled over the state. Right Honorable Issa Ashiru was his political foe, so to speak. But today they find themselves in the same party. Just saying.
Yes, really.
That the irony of it
Jackie,
is not lost on us.
I gave that caution. I said, when you are dealing with politicians, be careful, so that you not be the sacrificial lamb when at the end there is reconciliation between them, which I gave the example of Honorable Kafra Kaino, who was here and he was blowing hot and cold. In fact, he was blowing hot all until he left this place and all that. He said, no, they will not accept anything except that, Yusuf Zelani is declared the winner. Now, reconciliation has taken place. So, talking about Honorable Issa Ashiru, there's this audio recording that's in circulation. It is alleged, though the ADC has come out to deny that it is fake, but in that audio, Honorable Ashiru is had to be saying that he's just trying to get a platform for the governorship, and of course he was explaining things out why he is in the ADC and all that. Now, look at it this way. In 2015, getting back to the diary, Nasir Ahmed Rufai contested primary election with Issa Ashiru when he was in the House of Reps, and of course Nasir Ahmed Rufai defeated him and picked the ticket. So, warming up to 2019, I think it was around 2017, Issa Ashiru defected to the PDP and picked the ticket for the PDP. So some people like Honorable Professor Mainanzazo, who contested alongside, he lost out. He moved to the APC, and they worked against Isa Ashuru, put it that way. Now in 2023, Isa Ashuru took the PDP ticket again, and so at the end he lost. And of course, Nasir Ahmed FI was on seat, and election was conducted and supervised under him as the governor. So it was alleged in many quarters that it was Nasir Ahmed FI that allegedly supervised Ashiru's loss of the election and all that. Whether it is true or not, but that's what we write or we follow within the political landscape. And nobody ever thought that Isa Ashiru would have anything to do with Nasir MFI. But in politics, people agree to disagree. People disagree to agree. So, it is about alignment and realignment. So you could see they have already aligned and realigned. They are together. So when that audio came up, some people I think this should be the end of Isa Ashiru. He may lose that ticket, but at the end, or he may lose that ticket at the end. Bello Erufai, the son of Nasir Ahmed Erufai, he visited Isa Ashiru and pledged their support and loyalty to Isa Ashiru. That Ashiru is the candidate of the party, and the medical visit that was approved, of course, like you heard, it was used for political meeting. Isa Ashiru went and visited Nasir Ahmed, they held a meeting. So
So this of course means that tomorrow we could see Ayesam Wiki together with Bala Mohammed, together with Tambuwal.
Jackie, I will not be surprised. It's all about politics. Yeah, it's all about politics. Look at now. Just give example. Nasir Ahmed Erufai. Nasir Ahmed Erufai called Atiku names previously, but now they came back. They are together. He called them different names. They are together. Before Erufai, before led Buhari picked the ticket for the APC in 2015. Google it. You hear where you see in the report where Nasir Ahmed Erufai called then Buhari different names, that he was a serial loser of election, that he will never win election. But what happened? When it suits them, he hinged his back on Buhari, and he won the election in 2015. And every time look at the pictures, you see him almost like kneeling down prostrating before Buhari.
Before we open up the phone lines,
I can give you different instances, different references, and all these things. So that's politics. They align to realign based on interests. Interest is the most important thing, based on interests.
And yet we
and
still
in politics,
have
take
people.
it, Jackie. It's either somebody is using you to achieve an interest, or you are using somebody to achieve an interest.
And
Either somebody is using you, or you are using somebody. Yes. That's politics.
Okay, and
The
we
end
still
justifies
have
the means, according to
the ordinary
Machiavelli.
Nigerians ready to kill each other for these people who are neither permanent friends nor permanent foes.
Do we talk about Peter Obi, who has raised alarm that he is not sure if he will live to contest the presidential election? According to him, that anything that is of interest to him, that government of the day, they try to destabilize it. According to him, he parked his car in the airport. Somehow they went and locked it and something like that. So to him, he is even scared. It was an interview he had with a podcast star on YouTube. I watched it. But to some of us, if you follow things, you see it's not something new. Rewind back to 2015. Nasir Ahmed Erufai, when he was the main key figure of the opposition, he stated how he was being targeted by the then government. He even said he was number 7 on the sniper list, of the Goodluck Jonathan administration. But did it happen? But again, you never can take that for granted. If we take it seriously. Muhammadu Buhari then in Kao here at the Kao flyover, that bomb blast that on his car that took place, if it was just by the will of God that Buhari was saved, if something had happened with Buhari, or if Buhari was killed, then you know what would have happened in this country. So sometimes when people talk, yes, it could be political gimmick and all that, but you never can take it for granted too. You never can take it for granted.
Well, I think world over, the world is seeing a new, I don't want to call it a dawn, because dawn presumes, something good. But I think the world has stepped into a different sphere of politics. Even when you look at other democracies that you would have thought that had stabilized, we see a destabilization going on, around the world. And well, good news is there are people who are actually getting it right in these times that we find ourselves. The Sahelian coalition, they seem to be getting their acts right, at least for African interests. And well, the way we finish remains, your guess is as good as
Jackie,
mine.
talk about insecurity. That was
I wanted to talk finally,
Yes.
just because we've taken on quite a number of stories. I just wanted us to touch quickly on the issue of state police. It is something that is as good as done. There are people who, of course, like every other, idea or ideology, there are proponents, and of course there are people who stand against it. However, I would just like to ask, do you think that this is one of the moves that we need to actually combat insecurity in the different parts of the country as we see it?
The issue of state police, some would say we're just talking about it for formality, but state police have been around. Talking about, you have the Amotekun in Ondo, is that? So you have in Anambra, how do you call that group? I'll get the name.
The Eastern Security Network.
Yes.
Then ESN.
Yes, ESN. And then in Kano you have the Hizba. Is that not? So even in part of Zamfara, you have the.
But now
the
we're
Hizba.
looking
So
at a
they have been
more
they have been in
organized
different
and-
coloration.
And
So-
something a very important and crucial detail. They will now be armed.
Yes. Apart from the Amotekun, the Hizba, and the ESN, you also have the vigilante as well. Being under the control of the state government, and they've been paid salaries, and they are armed too. Not really the normal.
Not in
this thing.
Kaduna. I mean, Kaduna had
No,
cadres.
they are armed. They have den guns. They use den guns and all that. Remember, Jackie, anytime there is either a curfew or something, you see them around, under the checkpoints and all that with their den guns and all that. Now, some see the state police at the silver bullet, but some say it may not really be at the moment, but let's start somewhere. You should not be afraid to start something. After all, this is we're practicing federalism. If we're practicing federalism, for example, in America, you have the federal police, you have the county police, you have the FBI, and all that. In London, you have the metropolitan police, you have different and all that. So in Nigeria, if we said we're borrowing from the American federalism or presidential system, so why are we shying away from some of the aspect of federalism? But some said, yes, we're not just going to do copy and paste. No, let's copy it, let's pick it, let's bring it, pick what is that can be domesticated in our environment, that can go with our environment and all that. So the fear has been that the governors, the chief executives at the state would use it against their opponent, as it was in the First Republic and all that. Give an example with the State Independent Electoral Commission, where we have INEC conducting the national election, and the State INEC conducting, or State Independent Electoral Commission, SICOM, conducting the local government election. You know, it has always left sour taste in the mouth of the people talking about local government election. In Kaduna here, for example, we are at the many polling units waiting for results sheet and all that to be released before the ballot papers were released. You know, when result were being was being announced and all that. So the fear is that the chief executive officers of the state, who are the chief security officer of the state, the commissioner of police, will be under the control of the governor. So they will misuse it, you know, to the advantage, to the detriment of the opposition and all that. That's the fear. But it has been, as the bill is being worked in the National Assembly through Constitution Amendment Bill from the House of Rep, and then the President, there are two bills to that effect. The President sent executive bill, which has been worked by the Senate, and then the House of Rep passed that of the Constitution Amendment Bill for state police. So they are going into conference hall to harmonize it. But I watched today where Arise TV and this day they organized town hall meeting for state police. Now the question that I asked, why is it that everything was being done in a hurry? They are not following the due process of the legislation. They're supposed to be first reading, second reading, then public hearing, where people come, stakeholders come in to give their own take about the bill. You know, from there you do summation, you do third reading, and then it moves for the next stage. Of course, it will go to the State House of Assembly, where to third, 24 state would vote for. If the vote yes, it's gone. But there's no public hearing. So maybe with this kind of town hall meeting where these issues are raised, we are hoping that they'll bring it back for public hearing so that people will go there and make their own input.
Okay, before we open up the phone lines, because we do have to go on a break and then, of course, open up the phone lines right after, since we still have about 3 minutes.
I was trying to add the Minister of Defense. He was at an assignment in Sokoto where he launched some armor vehicles and all that. The directive that he gave, that the soldiers who are a different station, whatever, you know, given security, that he will not want to hear that you see a bandit, a terrorist, you know, posing a threat, and you refuse to shoot because you said you have not been given directive. That directives have been given. He said that statement was made. Some people said that was the reason why he was removed as chief of defense staff. But now that he's back and he is reiterating again, some said, you know, the energy in him has died down. When he was chief of defense staff, he was so hot and everything, but when he became minister of defense, they are not seeing that fire in him. But it's like the fire is getting back again. So let's hope that the government itself, there's that political will to fight the insurgency.
CDS, the former governor of Borno State, who has come out categorically to say that no northerner